This is Miss Super. I am working on a new section of Enter Sandman. There's one riff. It's a measure-long riff I'm going to spend some time working on. I have made progress on it, but this is something I'm always going to need to spend extra time working on, especially before trying to run through the whole thing. And I'll explain what's going on here. For the first two beats of this measure, there's kind of a triplet feel with 16th notes, so it's basically 6 16th notes in a beat instead of 4, and then it goes back to 2/4. So I'm going to play for you slowly, kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you what I want to avoid, what I'm wanting to play but shouldn't play first. So this is what I should avoid. I'm going to try it again. Now, that sounds good. You may be wondering what's wrong with that. The problem being, what I'm doing is the first two notes are on one half of the beat, and the third note is on the other half of the beat. So I'm going 1 T tay, 2 T tay. It sounds nice, however, that's not what's in the music. I actually land on that third note before that tay comes on. So again, there's a triplet feel to it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to break down the triplet feel. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play all of those triplet 16th notes. So in other words, I'm going to break down that third note into its equivalents. So I'm going to play essentially, let me backtrack. First of all, I'm basically going to go, let me try this. Ba 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 ba. Okay, let's try that again because I'm having some trouble. Da 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 da. Triplet, triplet. Ba 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 ba. That's what I need to be thinking in that section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that third note and break it down into all 16th notes with that triplet feel. So instead of, I'm going to go 1. So let's do that. I'm do that again. I'm a little bit off, as in a lot. All right, so that was better. Let's do that one more time. All right, so now I'm going to modify the triplets. And I'm using a section, along with breaking it down into those triplet 16th notes, I'm using a technique called looping, where I just pick that one little itty-bitty spot and I repeat it over and over to reinforce the good thing. So let's do that again a couple more times. Okay, so next I would gradually speed it up. Normally I would go in very small increments, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do. Oh, let's try 90. Let's see what happens at 90. And always get the rhythm in your head first. Actually, not quite. Hang on, I'm having trouble here. Let's see, I don't think I can. Let's try this. So I'm going to divide those triplet 16th notes. So that's essentially what I'm trying to count. And tell you what, for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and slow it back down to 70. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and put it back. So let's try that again. I'm having a hard time getting my head around this. I'll warn you right now. Let's do that again. Again. Okay, better. Now I'm going to merge the second half of those the second triplets in each beat. Alright, now I'm going to merge all the G. So I'm going to merge some more triplets. Okay, so I stumbled a little bit on that, so now I'm going to alternate between the two styles. I'm going to do triplets, non-triplets, triplets, triplets. So it's a modified loop. Alright, so I'm getting it. My goal would next be to work it up until gradually I can do it at 120. Another thing I'm going to do later is listen to the recording that was provided and play along with the recording as best as I can. So, but the more I can listen to the recording and everything that's going on around that section, the better I'll learn it, where it becomes more intuitive. Again, the goal is always not to practice until you get it right. Practice until there's no way you can get it wrong. And that happens through making it a habit, making it an instinctive response instead of forced, and just merging yourself with what's going on all around you. So, as always, I hope you found this video helpful. I am not going to apologize for the struggles I had with this one, because I want you to see my struggles. I want you to see that we don't always have it together, that the final product does not necessarily reflect the work that it took to get there. And it's about the process, not the final product. So I'll catch you on the other side.